This is Smart Marketing Show, episode number 185, Value Add Marketing with Launch with Words. Brought to you by our friends over at ServerPress, makers desktop server. They make local WordPress development easy. Check them out at serverpress.com. And Bridget's book. Buy Bridget's book over on Amazon. It's a definitive guide to Twitter marketing. It's available as paperback or on Kindle. Help us out on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/WPwatercooler and become a patron. I'm Jason Tucker. I'm an IT director and web developer. You can find me at Jason Tucker on Twitter. And this is my co-host, Bridget. She is a marketing consultant. She can be found at Bridget M. Willard. Subscribe to us as a podcast. Go over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you listen to podcasts, and subscribe to us over there. Hey, how's it going, Bridget?
It's going great.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
Oh, goodness. So we're going to be talking about something near and dear to your heart, which is a new product that you just put out.
Yep.
Bridget, tell people a little bit about yourself.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Bridget Willard. I have a bachelor's degree in liberal arts with an emphasis in psychology from San Diego State University. Go Aztecs. And I earned my multiple subjects teaching credential from California State University at Fullerton.
Awesome.
What are they, the Titans?
Titans, yeah.
So weird. I've also been working for the last 34 years, so probably older work experience than some of our listeners.
Most likely, yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
The sum of my experience has culminated to this point in time where I am dispensing my instinct, which is a combination of education, intelligence, and experience as wisdom for you all to purchase or get free from my blog at bridgetwillard.com.
That's awesome.
That's a little bit of a different intro.
Yeah,
it was a dark and stormy night. Actually, I was on Kim Doyle's podcast this week, and she said, "Tell me a little bit about you." And I'm like, "Well, my parents got married on Pearl Harbor Day, and I was the reason for that. So that should pretty much characterize the first 18 years.
Oh, goodness.
Moving on to my young adulthood. I have a piece of paper that cost me $12,000 that says I'm smart. Before people went to school online.
Right.
Or, might I add, had Google to help them with their homework. Or, may I also add, I found out this horrific thing in the education system that happens now. Did you know that people have GitHub repos for college papers, and that people can hire writers on Fiverr and Upwork to take their classes on their behalf and do the tests because of the state of online education?
Wow.
No, I have disfigured fingers from writing with a pen. I'll never forget modern European history. 10 pages of notes in an hour and a half that were not out of the textbook. And then the exam was one of two questions: write an essay. So if you don't remember what happened, you are in trouble. I was so happy to get a B- in that class. You don't even know. I got 2 C's in psychophysiology and statistics, oddly enough, because I used to teach math.
Oh my goodness.
College was hard. I was 600ths away from graduating with honors, 3.44. 44. If I was gaming the system like people do, I would have taken more classes and delayed my graduation just so I could take easy classes and get a bunch of A's to make that number go up. So I could say I graduated with honors. So instead, I have life experience backed with a college degree.
But then you took that and you've been doing so many things in WordPress over the last decade or so, whatever, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I've been using WordPress since 2007.
Yeah, I mean, so probably one of the things that a lot of us have had issues with, especially me, I can speak for myself, is when you have clients that have a website that they have no idea how to write any type of copy, any type of anything on the website. And you're essentially building them a site. You make them a blog or even like a news release page or a news, company news page or any of that sort of thing. And it just becomes dormant. And it's one of those places, it's one of those few places on the website, other than maybe their products, where stuff could be added onto the site and people could actually go look at it and it would be new content, and Google will look at it and say, oh, this website's still alive. It's not just some dormant thing. Let's go on to the website and go take a look at it. And so, you ended up coming up with this like great product of being able to make it so that it's very simple to import the content, and the content is already written for you so that you can at least have a place to start.
Well, that's the premium
and looking at it.
That's the premium version.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to go back a little bit, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Because I feel like people don't really know me, and so I feel like people are surprised by this, that I have a plugin. I feel like people are surprised at my success that's been going on since I started working.
Yeah.
In the 80s. So what I want to say is, like, I have been building and writing for websites since 1995. I built websites in Front Page, Dreamweaver, CSS, before I decided I can't even deal with these people who are arguing with me about this hex code.
Right.
It was their orange, that fugly orange they chose.
I'm
out. Right? So I learned quickly that I am not going to deal with this. Right? But it's not like I don't know what the problem is. And my whole career, I've worked in small businesses. Whether it was a pizza shop when I did the books, I audited their books, publishing, roofing, general contractor, Department of Mechanical Engineering at the Naval Postgraduate School, trucking company, church, school, right? I've worked in the franchise industry, the tech. So all my career is about small business. And the biggest problem, Jason, the biggest problem is the words. This is why I always say words, they need the words. The internet exists for words.
Mm-hmm.
We like the fancy stuff that makes us feel good, and we like all of the moving parts, but sometimes we forget what really matters, right? And because I work with WordPress people, I see that they are so frustrated with their clients. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be. I'm saying they need a little more empathy, but the frustration is 100% real. Hundreds and hundreds of people are having such a hard time, Jason, with getting their clients to write. But it's not their job.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they're really good at fencing. Or they're really good at painting. Well, they have a Hallmark store, or they're competing with Hallmark. So that's really, and we say, well, you need to blog. And they say, my friends have been asking me this for 20 years. Well, what do I write about? I've been saying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, to the point where Rhonda Nygaard said, Bridget, you need to make this an ebook. Right? So then when I realized that we have starter content and themes, because I edited the content in 2020 and 2019 and one other, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. You know, those slow hunches that all of a sudden 35 years of work experience happen. And I asked Ron, he's probably so mad I call him Ron. I'm like the worst person. Like, I'm going to call you Jace, and you're like, I hate it every time you call me Jace, because my name is Jason. I'm just like, I'm not doing 2 syllables. I already have to do it. You know, I'm so bad at that. But Ronald Huereca from Mediaron, I reached out to him. I said, I have the coolest idea. Do you want to partner with me? Because I feel like people don't see me as technical.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I'm not.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's degrees of not technicality, but there's degrees of, you know, being technical, and those degrees could be that you're someone who actually builds, you know, a plugin, or there's somebody who's really good at coming up with a plugin idea, and you know the ins and outs of how that thing should be built.
Right?
You just don't have the ability to go and write the code
or the desire to spend my billable hours. I mean, I'm doing PHP. I already did the front end course on Free Code Academy just for fun.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm doing free PHP and Code Academy. But I mean, I could do it myself. I was going to fork ServerPress.
Right.
But I realized, you know what? Why don't we kill a couple birds with the same stone? My billable hours are better spent doing what pays me $175 an hour.
Right.
Not learning how to do a plugin. How about I do some work for hire and let him get, you know, some visibility because he's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, the easiest person to work with. Never talk down to me, ever. Ever. Because, Jason, you're going to laugh. But because I know enough, right? I have the strategic understanding of code.
Right.
So I was like, okay, you know how when you go from WordPress.com and then you go to self-hosted and you get your blog and you're like, oh, I'm going to export my XML file. Why can't I make the drafts in an XML file? And then they import an XML file. He's like, really sweet, but basically, and this is not what he said, but he's like, oh, bless your heart. XML is like really old technology. I think we're going to do a JSON file. And I was like, does it need to be that complicated? Like, I really don't want this to be complicated, you know? So that was our conversation, right? And it's so cool when somebody sees your vision. I was like jumping up and down in this chair, and he's like, well, I'm not really that excited. You know, Bridget, it's just a JSON file. But here's the magic. And this is what I wish people understood about Ronald. He built 2 plugins. Okay, there's the plugin on the WordPress repo, which is the importer, the branded importer for my copywriting plugin, which, by the way, I would also like to mention, it's the only one.
Oh my gosh, for real?
There are no copywriting plugins that do this. It does not exist. And, you know, I've been marketing plugins since 2015. Nothing does this. You know, there's helpers, there's weird things on the side in the admin, but it's not in the blog. Sean, I don't know how to say his last name with WordPress 101. Cigar with the cigar wife or whatever. Yeah. Okay, so he has the videos, which are rad, right? But there's nothing that puts a normal person like my old boss, Tom Riggins, could literally put this on Riggins Construction and then follow the instructions, because all of the help is in the blog post.
Right.
And all of those Gutenberg block editor blocks.
Yeah.
It's not in the GUI.
Right.
Because honestly, I'm used to it now because I switched my site over, but like I'm also editing our show notes and you're not on Gutenberg, or at least the custom post types aren't, that it's the show. And so I'm going back and forth, a little more confusing than it used to be. But when you're in just right there and it tells you, okay, number one, do this. Go to share through headline optimizer and go make sure your score is over 70. And here's the link. Go to Canva and make this. And here's the link. And the dimensions. Because you know what's such a bummer about Canva, Jason?
What's that?
They don't have the Facebook or the blog graphic as 1200 by 628. That is Facebook specs for Open Graph. And all social networking, like you and I have talked about, even WhatsApp and iMessage, defer to Facebook specifications for Open Graph. And it's 1200 by 628. And I mean, I can't even believe how many times I tell people that. It's like they don't believe me. Well, my image doesn't come out right on my shirt site. Well, that's because you only have square images of your shirts. You need to make one image that's 1200 by 628, and then you can rescrape it and it will show up. Yeah, but that's not how WooCommerce works. I don't give a effing whatever. Facebook's a little bigger than WooCommerce.
Yeah.
Just a little bit bigger. And it's their playground.
We have the same problem with our videos. The videos are, there's 16 by 9, in aspect ratio. You always have a piece on the top and the piece on the bottom that's cut off because it's a little bit wider of a form factor than it is tall.
Wouldn't it be great if YouTube and Facebook had a conversation about?
But unfortunately, Facebook wants to become YouTube, so it's a whole separate.
Sucks to be you, Facebook. But so that's the beauty of it. So there's that plugin that imports the JSON files. So I bet I know what your next question is.
Yeah, what's the other plugin?
This is the beauty, a proprietary plugin just for me.
Ooh, just for you. Oh, that's cool.
This one is not open source. Sorry, y'all. You're looking at the new Syed Balki and address. No, but here's the thing. I almost started crying, Jason, because Ron is amazing. He built me a helper plugin so that it's called Launch with Words and it's on my site.
Yeah.
This allows me to create custom post types that are categorized by the premium content pack or by the content pack. The starter content pack comes from my site. Okay. So I don't literally need him anymore. The work is done.
Right.
I put the content in there. I export the JSON file. That's a download on a download page from Easy Digital Downloads on my site, because I've said it once, I've said 100 times, one website to rule them all. And guess what? My stats are up. And people are going from the Launch with Words landing page to the starter pack to Bridget's services.
That's cool.
Okay, that's just a little side thing.
Yeah, well, it all lives on the same page and everything. So yeah, why not?
This is why I tell plugin developers, stop making new websites just because you can. And Ron said it to me in a way that made sense. And I think it's a coding thing. This is where my education breaks down. I am the source of truth.
Right.
I am the source of truth for this plugin. And so no matter what, they have to go to they don't have to go to the repo because they can get the importer plugin from me.
Right.
But they go to the repo, they have to come to my site to get the content, even the starter content, because they have to get the JSON file from me for the low price of free, right? So guess what? I know how many downloads there are.
Oh, good.
Guess who doesn't need freemius for analytics?
Right. Nice.
They have to come to my site.
Right.
And
that's cool.
Guess what else I get? Their email address.
That one is very helpful.
Because they bought something from my site.
Right.
Right.
And the thing is about what I like about that is the email address isn't the email address of the client of the person who doesn't know anything about this thing.
I don't want
the email address is the developer who could be using this plugin yet again on another theme and another plugin, another website, another whatever. They can take that and use it elsewhere. And so that way you're making you're making sure that you're getting the people that are actually going to interact with the content and be able to do what they need to.
You got it, Jason. You're the first one who gets it. I'm telling you, this is the beauty of it, because who are my audience?
Your audience is the same audience that we have here.
Right. So,
it would be great if a site owner came and watched us.
Oh, 100%.
100%. It's great. But really, it's like, I mean, and a site owner could even install your plugin,
100%.
and use it and do all this stuff. Totally get it.
No, my friend Candace from Carlsbad Village Yoga did.
Yeah.
She maintains her site herself.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, and this is really what my mission is for our people. Yeah. I want you all to charge more money. I want you to get paid, and I want you to have things you can add as a value so that people will keep hiring you.
Right.
This is a value add for them. Sure, it helps me. I don't care if they hire me. I can't write everybody's content, right? And then here's the other piece. So with the premium content packs, right? I've been asked this question, or whatever, this gotcha question so many times already. Hey, Bridget, what about duplicate content? So I would like to ask you, Jason Tucker, IT manager and web developer for like probably as long as I've been working. Okay. What is worse than duplicate content?
What is worse than duplicate content? Oh my gosh.
No content.
Well, yeah. I was thinking of content.
Right. But that's the thing. What do small businesses have? Nothing.
Nothing.
Because they're too afraid to break something.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to write. So all of these, the starter pack is 12 January blog post draft, February blog post draft. It tells you everything to do. It tells you to make an image in Canva, name it something that makes sense, export it as a JPEG so it's not too big, right? It tells you to optimize your headline, write alt text for that image, write a meta description for 155 characters, change the slug and what a slug is. It tells you everything once you're in that draft. That is what is so bitching about it.
That's cool.
So that they will do it not just crappy, but they will do it with best practices. Right? So I have a longer video, which you've seen, that's about 15 minutes of on that page. It shows you how to interact, like what's the thought process behind answering these questions. And each one of them has a different aim, like, hey, aim for a case study. It's just like my ebook. That's $7.50 or $12, whatever it is. Actually, I will mention, and I'll put in the show notes, that if you want to buy my ebook and content planner, if you use web developer, one word, as a discount code, is 50% off. It's like $7.50. That's nice. Forever. Because, and you can, for those two things, you can print them off and give them to your clients as many times as you want. Like honestly, I would put that in your documents that you give to the client when the site is finished.
Right.
Because they need to use their site. The reason why they need to use a site is two reasons. Number one, Google wants this. Like, think of a metronome. Yeah. You have to consistently, how often should I publish? And the answer, it's consistent. It's not even, it depends. It's consistent. What can you do? And so my ebook, and I talk about this in the video, is that you can do this. You can write this 300-word blog post in less than 2 hours a month. Yeah. I mean, it could take an hour or 20. It depends on how fast you write. And with the ebook, I encourage business owners to keep a journal and then write down pain points. Like, what is this one customer not understanding? Oh, they don't understand what, when I say a page, they don't know the difference between a post and a page. Okay, I need to send them a link to a really great blog post. And you mentioned it before, Jason, about the site owners. You know who else doesn't blog enough?
The developers.
Yes. So my double dog dare to all of you is install it and publish something once a month on your blog of those things that you want people to know, and follow it. I mean, you can say that it's a little plugin or it's not that big of a deal, or, oh, how cute, Bridget moved to Texas and made a plugin. Well, guess what? Why don't you just try it my way? Because the worst case scenario is you're going to be helped either way.
Right. And you're actually going to have content on your website now.
Yeah. And you're going to spend the low price of $0, €0, €0 pesos. Like, what do you have to lose? You only have business to gain. And the more you write, the more clearly you think about what matters to your business. And you can more succinctly say, I help WordPress products and services with their brand awareness online.
Yeah. Because
that's what I do. And I think about it and I write about it all the time. I know what their problem is because that's my job. So if your niche is the hospitality industry and you're writing for hotels, what's always the problem? So
and that's where those content packs would end up helping each one of those verticals that they can kind of work through and get figured out, right?
Absolutely. So
cool.
This is what I learned when I was in the franchise industry, Jason. So we don't think about how big the franchise industry is. It's huge. When it comes to how they market themselves as small businesses, they are small businesses. You retire from being a police officer and you decide to start Win Home Inspection because that's a low startup fee. That's a very good industry. I love Win Home Inspection. They're really great folks. And I worked with them, and Paul Davis, super great. And Sport Clips, super great. They really support first responders and military with discounts and financing and things like that. Sure. It's not a disparagement against the franchise industry, but working on their websites has taught me this. They are multi-sites most of the time. Right. And the content that they pay for when they pay their franchising fee for marketing is syndicated content. You know what syndicated content is, Jason?
Duplicate content.
It's duplicate content. And here's what's worse. You as the franchisee, right. Me as the Win Home Inspector, I can't edit that content on my website.
Yeah. I had a client that was a gym, and all of their content came from the mothership, and the mothership would say, okay, they would just log into the site, push the content down. I think they were using like a WordPress duplication plugin or something, and it would just like shoot a bunch of stuff out to their site, and they would have constantly updated content. But I kid you not, if you were to copy a little, like a sentence or two of that content, put some quotes around it, drop it into Google and hit search,
all
of the other gyms would show up on the list.
Dude, travel industry? I forgot. I also worked in the travel industry.
Right.
That's exactly what they do. And these travel agents pay money, like they might not even be a franchise. They might be like literally their own business with their own branding.
Right.
But they pay for these websites, and for $300 a month, they get content. It's syndicated garbage content.
Yeah.
Okay. So this whole idea that, it's duplicate content is bad, that's how the business works. But here's how my plugin is different. You import, or ideally, here's the ideal use case. I'm a developer. I'm building a website for a roofer. I build roofing websites. So I'm going to buy the multi-site license of the, because you can have one content pack for $497, or you can have a multi-site license for $2,000. So how many? It's like going to Disneyland. How many times do you going to build a roofing website before it's just smart to buy that? So you buy that $2,000, and then guess what? It's on the client's websites. You use the importer plugin, you install the JSON file, you deactivate and delete the plugin. I don't want active installs. That's best practice. Best practice. Your client will never know that you bought content for them. And before you launch the site for them, you can localize the copy. So now you can buy something for $497, charge $1,000 for it, or $1,200 or whatever. Because if I have to spend $1,200 to get those articles written.
Right.
That's a minimum. You can spend $2,400, $3,000 for 12 articles.
Oh,
but
sure.
If you localize the copy for them, that is a huge value. That's a huge way for a web developer to make money on something that they basically don't have to do that much work on, because these will be professionally written by me and my friends that I trust, that I would allow, and who also write for my clients. I am not outsourcing this to some factory.
Yeah.
The business model for this, and why I want it to be Bridget Willard LLC, is because I want my friends to be able to get more money writing. I'm not going to be profitable probably for a couple of years, because I'm using the money that people spend on the content packs to hire writers to write more.
Yeah.
So if you have a request, go over to my premium content pack landing page, which is launchwithwords-premium, and send me, an email. There's a link to send me an email, or to my contact form, or just go straight to my contact form, and do it. I mean, literally, if you have an industry that you want written about, and you want to prepay me $2,000, I'll go get it done. You'll have it in 4 weeks.
That's cool.
So it's, so if you do it for a bunch of different roofers, or a bunch of different painters, or, a bunch of different hotels, you can localize each one so they're not going to be duplicate.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, Jason. I feel like I'm on an infomercial.
You are on an infomercial, and that's okay.
I know, but I'm usually the one asking questions. The thing is, because I'm the funny sidekick on the show, I'm not usually the guest. The thing is that the other problem this solves, this is beautiful. I mean, I am so freaking proud of this. I can't even tell you. The other problem this solves is, now your client has something to share on social media from their website that is written by a professional, and not their garbage way of saying things. And I'm not trying to say they're not smart. I'm saying they're not writers. That's not why they started their business. That's not their job. We have to stop expecting our clients to do our work for us.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this stuff as like a three-legged stool. You have one leg, which is the code that actually runs this thing. That's the theme, that's the plugin, that's the actual WordPress application itself. The second leg is the design and the way it looks, the way it the way it feels, the way it conveys emotion, the way it does all that stuff without reading any words. And then the third part of it is the actual content itself. And that content is the part that's going to make it so that when Google goes and looks at this site, it's going to be able to find that content. When people read it, they're going to be able to see what it is you're conveying. It's going to put all those pieces together. And because this is a three-legged table or three-legged stool, is that all three of those legs are important.
Yes.
And the problem is that in this industry, we have been a two-legged content or two-legged stool that never actually stays up.
You're like balancing on it, right? And that is so true, Jason, because this is why I've been tweeting this out. Like, the internet's blind.
Yeah.
But once people get to your site, now it's all the hospitality that you created with your ease of use, the user experience, how it makes them feel. And it's such a great way of describing it. I love that three-legged stool. Yeah. And I want to make WordPress developers' lives easier.
Sure.
So many of them are doing this as side work.
Yeah.
And then they're going to struggle trying to get, what happens when they don't get content and the client keeps dicking around on them? They don't get paid.
Yeah.
As somebody whose real career achievements, I know I shouldn't say that, but I am most proud of my achievements as accounts receivable and collections. I really believe that you can. I mean, I've trained people. I have forms I give out, of collection letters and how to escalate it and everything like that. We don't like asking for money because it makes us feel uncomfortable.
Bridget, the words have always been the hardest thing for me as a developer when I'm building somebody's website, because the person has this grand vision of you build the website and the people show up. And it's like, okay, you build the website, you get the best domain name, you hire the best web developer, you put all these pieces together, and they spend all the money and energy and everything kind of getting it all together. They don't know what pages they want. They don't know what pages they need. They just want to go copy their competitor who themselves hasn't even done the right work to be able to pull in the correct content. So essentially everyone's copying a bunch of BS that isn't actually like what you absolutely need in order to be able to launch that site.
Yes. Okay. This clip right there of you saying that, that needs to be a little clip that we share on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, because that is the problem. They're copying people that they think are successful, who are doing it wrong. And this happens in social media all the time, Jason.
Right.
Well, why are you using all those Unicode characters? Because so-and-so influencer is doing that. Well, she bought garbage followers. You want to keep following her garbage way? Have at it. Meantime, we're all going to do it with best practices, and we will be laughing all the way to the bank, which we don't have to go to because it comes straight in.
Right. Yeah, it's been the biggest frustration for me in my journey as being someone who builds websites. And the problem is that when you're the butcher, baker, and candlestick maker, you can't also be the content creator. Like, I am not a content creator. I can't write to save my life. When I do write, it's all screwed up. Yes, I am using Grammarly in order to be able to correct my stuff, because I have I have 12 years worth of education, and I didn't spend all 12 of those years writing content for websites.
No, that's not.
I was just trying to graduate high school. That's it. And then after that, I got into doing web development. Yeah. So for me personally, I don't have that discipline to be able to actually, put together all the things and build it all the way that it needs to.
Yeah, but that's not your job.
I know it's not. But the problem is that the customer expects a website from me.
Right. And that's
And
why
a
we partner
website,
with writers.
and a website also includes words as well as graphics. Just like I tell them, I say, I am not a designer. Like the idea that website design used to be a thing. It's not just, I'm not a website designer. Never said I was a website designer. I build websites. I build infrastructure. I build the scaffolding. I build all the pieces that need to be there. Then someone comes in and they do the drywall. Someone comes in and they do the stucco. Someone comes in and they paint the thing. That's not me. That's somebody else.
Yeah, you're the general contractor. You're not the interior decorator.
Correct. So because of that, and if we go back to that three-legged setup here, those other two legs are going to be a designer. You're going to hire Rhonda and you're going to say, okay, Rhonda, come in here real quick. I want you to build this thing for me. And I want you to make it so that it looks great. I've already built the infrastructure behind it. I just need you to make it look pretty. And then I go over to Bridget and I say, hey, Bridget, come on over here. I need you to talk to this client. I need you to figure out what it is that they actually want to have on the website. And let's slap it together, get it all figured out, and boom, it's done. And I didn't have to write it, and the client didn't have to write it.
Okay, so yes. Rhonda in the chat is saying something I neglected to mention. This gives you as a freelancer the ability to have agency level service.
Right.
She writes, for agency level service, use the plugin, hire a copywriter to finesse. There's more bang for your buck.
I totally agree.
Upsell, right? But here's the thing, like I have a content questionnaire that I've made in a Google Doc that you can copy. It's like Bridget's website questionnaire, bit.ly link somewhere. I'll find it. I literally send that to people. I've been working with Impossibly Creative down in Orlando lately. And they said, would you write this copy? And I said, yes, send this to your client. The client sends it back, and I know about that person because I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the questions based upon what I want to know as the writer. Now I know how to put all those pieces together. Mm-hmm. I know how to do that. But you don't know how to ask those questions. That's why I made this free tool for people to send and copy and brand however they want. I make all these free tools that because I want to get that information as a writer. I'm sure other writers want to get that information. Then it's super easy. And then because otherwise they're like, can you write this about page? Sure. What's it about?
Right.
I don't know. What do you want to do today? I don't know what you want to do today. I don't know. What do you want to do today? I don't know. Where do you want to go for lunch? I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Frustrating as the developer.
You're in a loop.
Yeah. Well, and you're asking the questions like, okay, maybe I'm essentially having to go to their competitor's website and figure out what it was that what is it that this industry actually needs to hear, and we're hoping that it's actually what their customers actually need to hear in order to make an informed decision on whether or not they should purchase the product or service from this company. And if you're just guessing, that's gonna suck. You shouldn't be guessing at this stuff, because just like with social media marketing, just like with traditional marketing, just like with any of these other pieces, don't guess at any of this stuff. Like, there's proven ways that things are done in order to be able to get to a place that at least you can start seeing some change happening. And if you don't actually build this thing out, it's the right way, it's going to suck.
100%. I just put a link to it's bit.ly/Bridget Web Questions, and that's title case, and it will ask you to copy it to your drive. I'm telling you, it's like the coolest thing ever. But here's the thing, like, Alex Vasquez said this at WordCamp, Orange County in 2014.
Yeah.
We need to partner with each other to get bigger clients who pay better. We all know that the cheap clients are the most difficult to manage because they have uneducated expectations on what something should cost.
Right.
We also know that your competitor may be ranking for something, but that doesn't mean that's what people are searching for. For example, one of the legacy terms that we use on websites all the time that really only belongs on a church website is the word testimonial. A testimonial is when you get saved and you accept Jesus Christ or some kind of conversion of faith. A review is what people are looking for. So stop using testimonial and start using review, and then you're already 1% better.
Yeah. I mean, right here, there's your reviews, you know, and being able to look at those reviews and, you know, and see what it is people are saying about you is, you know, super important.
Because
and,
people want to know. Like I could say this is a great plugin all day long. I am. But like Triple J is like, that's pretty good.
Right.
Well, thanks, Triple J. Good luck on your political career.
Right. Well, he's been doing politics for many, many years.
I know, but you know what I mean?
It trips me out when people go like, whoa, you're running for blah, blah, blah. You're like, yeah, I'm running for blah, blah, blah. I've been doing this for years.
I know, but I never saw those pictures.
It's so cool. Oh my goodness. So let's transition into our tool tip of the week. Tip of the week.
So besides everything we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes that include my content planner, I mean, all I do is build tools. I mean, I will literally put links in here to my collection letters, everything. I want you guys getting paid, but I have a real specific thing. So this is hat tip to Ronald Huereca. It's called versions.
Ooh,
and it's an SVN. Versions. I know it's like FileZilla for SVN. All I knew about SVN before we did this plugin is that it's a pain in the ass. WordPress is like in like the Jurassic Park version of software. Why aren't they on GitHub? And so we had to have a readme.md file for GitHub and then .text.
Sure.
So this was something that we purchased, and it is awesome, super easy. Ronald showed me how to use it in like 10 minutes. And you know, here's the thing with WordPress. You can't use the word WordPress in your description of your plugin that is a WordPress plugin on the repo page, even though, so it's a trademark, but also it's a WordPress plugin. So you can't use it in the name. It's not like I'm just, okay, whatever. Okay, that's fine. I have my own web property. I will change it to copywriting plugin - launch with words. Okay. I won't say WordPress or like, so I had to change. So it was WordPress copywriting plugin. So then I changed it to small business copywriting plugin. Whatever. Okay. People like, you know, but
and you can change that all the time. You can A/B test the heck out of that, Bridget.
I know I have. And with Plugin Rank, the tool I gave you guys last week, I'll put my affiliate link down there. It's $9 a month. Like, why would you not sign up for that?
Yeah.
So, but like, you know, the thing is, WordPress.org has a lot of domain authority, and we want those reviews on WordPress.org. And, you know, why not be where somebody can search in their, you know, if a small business owner is looking for blogging help, why wouldn't I want, you know, blogging is very competitive. Copywriting isn't so much, but, you know, you got to be there because that's where the people are.
Sure.
But so this way I don't need, Ron's like, you won't need me. I won't be the bottleneck, which is a really sweet way of saying, Bridget, you're driving me fucking crazy with all of your GitHub commits. Stop rewriting stuff. But the thing is, once we see it on the internet, it looks different. It doesn't matter how many times I write something in a Google Doc. When I see it on the internet, even I rewrite it. Right. So if you're managing your version control for WordPress.org, that's the best $60 you're going to spend.
Oh, yeah.
It's a breeze. It's like, it reminds me of FileZilla. It was just so easy. They made FTP access so easy back in the day. Man, I haven't used that since like 2005.
Oh boy, yeah. FileZilla, my goodness.
Yeah, you log in once with your WordPress.org username and password. You never have to log in again.
That's it.
It's so easy.
I was trying to set up my phone so I can show you my.
Sorry, I didn't talk enough.
Or tip. No, that's okay. I'll show you this. Things are being weird right now, but I'll show you it. So this one has nothing to do with WordPress at all. It has nothing to do with has nothing to do with WordPress. It has nothing to do with much of any of the things that we normally talk on this show. But it's a tool that I've been using quite a bit of, and I'm hoping if you're someone who's been working from home and you may be using the same tools and techniques that I use around my house, that you would use this as well. In my house, I have security cameras, not in the house, outside the house. I have one in my driveway and I have one at my front door. And I'm in a room just like I am right now, totally far away from all that stuff. But I want to know when someone walks down my driveway. I want to know when someone gets to the front door. I want to be notified of it. I want to be able to look at it. But also, like, if I have a TV in the room, I could have my camera show up on that TV. And so what I wanted to show you is an app that kind of works on the iPhone. It works on the
So
Apple
you could
TV.
be your own security guard?
Yeah, exactly. So let me do a quick little screen share here so you can take a look at it. And what this thing does, and there's a whole bunch of these, and it all depends on like what what company and what software and everything and hardware that you're using. But what this does, and again, this looks like for some reason my cameras aren't showing up correctly. I think it's because I'm in some weird part of the house. But what it does is it makes it so that I'm able to see those cameras from the from my phone and be able to look at them. So here's like my, the driveway. And then I have like one for the front door and one in the garage. And I'm able to kind of see each of those cameras. Well, if I get if the doorbell rings or something like that, or somebody walks in front of this, it ends up telling me that, this is happening. You should go take a look at it. What I like about this particular plugin itself, or this particular thing itself, is that you can customize the look of those. So if you have a lot of cameras, you can kind of play around with this a little bit and be able to make it so that you can see all the cameras on the screen.
Rhonda's super excited.
Yeah, and so these cameras, for instance, are the Ring video doorbell, but Arlo is another one that you could get, and there's one by Logitech, there's one by a whole bunch of different companies. It really just depends on like what ecosystem, what is.
Oh, so this app is.
This app ties into those.
So it's it's ecosystem agnostic.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so this is a great way of being able to. It's called HomeCam.
HomeCam.
And HomeCam actually makes a whole bunch of other apps that work with it. Like you can see, here's the front door and here's the driveway. So you could just like quickly go and load it up real quick, take a look at it. If you have an Apple TV, the Apple TV hardware, you could actually load this app up on the TV. So it just runs on the TV and you don't have to do anything. So if you wanted to look and see a grid of all the different cameras that are on your property, you just load up this app on the Apple TV and let her rip, and you never have to go and change anything. It just kind of just runs there. So if you're in a room in your house that has an Apple TV, you can just load up this app, let it run up there, and then you're good to go.
That is so epic.
Yeah. So like, for instance, at your place, if you had a what they call a HomeKit compatible doorbell, you could put that doorbell on your on your front porch there. And if somebody were to walk by, it would notify you that somebody walked by. If they push the doorbell, it would notify you that somebody pushed the doorbell. And all those are built in. That's just normal. The part that's not normal here is that when you have an Apple TV or even a phone, if you have an old phone that you just want to, or an old iPad or something, you just want to have it sit there, you could use that as a way of being able to monitor your property and kind of take a look at it and see what's going on. So yeah, take a look at it. It's, I want to say it was like $2 or something. I mean, most of these apps are like teeny tiny price, but it's a great way for me to be able to kind of look at what's going on. So on our TV in our living room, when you walk in there, you just see a grid of cameras, and you never have to like think, oh, what's in the front yard or anything like that. It just sits there running, so you could take a look at it. And if we have other TVs in our house, you could just let them up and take a look at them there too. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Hey, I got something else to tell you.
What's that?
So you know how much I love Bitly. And I don't want the branded link because I do it for clients. So I like it being Bitly.
Right.
But we made a post, and then my client was like, uh-oh, sorry, we don't want it going to that link. Can you take it down? So I took it down because I had made them, I customized the back half, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she's like, okay, can you redirect it to this link instead? And I was like, yeah, Bote, I don't want to. So this, when people say, oh, is this product worth this price?
Right.
Well, let me tell you, the pain of me having to say to my best client, I'm sorry, I can't redirect that link, was greater than me giving Bitly $35 for their next level plan just so I could do that. Now, mind you, everybody bitches and complains about $25 managed hosting a month.
Right.
Okay, I'm on Site District. I was on Pressable. It's $25 a month.
Uh-huh.
Bitly's $35 a month.
Dang.
Just to be able to do that. And I don't even want the custom domain. I just don't want to be able to tell my client who pays me thousands of dollars, I can't do that. So yeah, I just started spending even more money on a thing. So when you guys, yeah,
for you.
but Bitly has a better brand recognition. People will click on a Bitly link.
That's true.
Okay. And we're dealing with brands that matter. And, I've been doing that campaign URL. So like all over the internet, the source is Bridget Willard.
All the GTMs. Yep.
So the thing is that when you're pricing your product, and people ask me this all the time, how did you come up with that price? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm in pricing I'm on the internet all day long, people. Don't forget that is a main selling point. It might be just that one thing, like Ronald has a plan for maintenance for $25 a month. And I'm like, oh, you mean I only have to pay $25 a month to be able to pick up the phone and go, hey, Rhonda's going to kill me because I messed up my site? Yeah, that's worth $25 a month. You know what I mean? So like sometimes as people who create, we're self-conscious about our prices. So like, the Bitly story, Bridget Willard willing to spend 70 times 6. So 6 times 7 is 400, and 6 times 7 is 42, right? I'm not good at mental math. $420 a year.
Right.
So that I don't have to tell this client that I couldn't fix this one link.
Yeah.
One link.
I hear you. I know we've been pitching Bridget's stuff all day today, and I totally get it, but I do want to let you know that Bridget's plugin is available on Product Hunt. I need you to go over to Product Hunt's website. I need you to go over and click on that orange thing on the upper right hand corner like I did earlier, and I want you to click on the upvote button so that way this thing gets upvoted. I need all of you to do this so that way when people go and look on Product Hunt, they see that number is more than 9.
I just felt like I just feel like I'm not the person who's always asking. I'm the person who's always giving.
Yep.
And this is the time I'm asking, and I didn't want to keep asking. I'm like, listen, I have this tool. It's free. It'll help you guys. You don't want to do it, whatever. So I might add you to my mailing list. Big deal. Unsubscribe. I'm not going to cry, but maybe I'm going to help you,
Right.
I'm not, I'm not really selling as much as I give. I give most. Yeah. I have clients. I'm okay. I have leads, I'm a little bit too busy, but I was rather disappointed that for all of the support I've been giving to developers for the last 10 something years that I couldn't even get 100 upvotes. You know how many times I've been asked to upvote somebody's thing on Product Hunt? That was more upsetting to me than only having 9 votes.
So go over there, go to Product Hunt, go look for Launch for Words, click on the link that's in the bottom there. On any of the pages that Bridget's plugin is talked about on her site, she has a Product Hunt link on there. Click on it. I want to see that thing way more than 9. It was 8 before I clicked it.
I know. I have 16,000 followers on Twitter, and I can't get 100 upvotes on Product Hunt. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Help a sister out.
Bridget, it's been an hour. Thank you very much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Here's our outro. Thanks. Go over to WPwatercooler.com/subscribe to learn how to subscribe to this content and all the other content we have going on over there as well. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and YouTube. Feel free to go take a look at us over there. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.